today I want to go ahead and I want to cover one of my favorite self-defense moves, and that's the eye jab. You know, sometimes I'll go ahead and I'll talk about this move is better than a punch. And it's not to disrespect a punch, because a punch can be very, very powerful, very, very effective. But, you know, I'm not sure if you ever take a look at a hand, let's say under x-ray. What do you see? See a whole bunch of tiny little bones right there, right? Okay? You know, it's kind of like people who get done with fights and they go ahead and look down at their hands and they got bloody, they got a little bone sticking out here or there or whatever, and they're like, geez, I think I won the fight, right? Okay? But the point I'm trying to make right here is we could use another kind of move, and it's going to be smarter than a punch. And here's why. Think of it this way. If I go ahead and, like, let's say line up 50 people across the wall, let's say, and go down the line and punch everybody in the face, is everybody going to be reacting the exact same? Obviously not, all right? But if I go down the way and let's say jab everybody in the eyes, guess what? I almost get the exact same reaction regardless if somebody is, let's say, 6'4", 350 pounds, or if someone is, let's say, my size, if it is male, if it's female, if the person's trained, if they're not trained. Anybody gets poked in the eyes, it's a human eyeball, they're going to go ahead and they're going to react. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this up to the next level here with the eye jab, and how we simply do that is by realizing there are 3 different times that we can eye jab, or we can really intercept with any kind of tool, but specifically we're working with the eye jab, obviously. If I go ahead and I bring Casey in here, the first time is that if he goes ahead and he punches, once he retracts, he's going to punch and then retract, then I would eye jab. That is obviously called after. There's also the during time as well. So when he punches right here, I may slip this right here and then go ahead and eye jab off to the side. I can also do that from the inside as well. When he punches right there and I pop right in there, that is a good eye jab, but that's during. The last but not least time, well, that's before the attack. What that means is the person may go ahead, they even may be ready to go ahead and fight, throw their fists and everything like that. Once they come into this range, then I simply pop them even before they have a chance really to go ahead and throw whatever move they're throwing. So as we move around right here, you're going to see me use that eye jab in each one of those 3 times. Sometimes before, sometimes during, and sometimes after. So what I want to do right now is I want to go ahead and I want to cover the eye jab, and I want you to try to put this in your arsenal because it's quick, it's fast, and once again, it works. If I have Casey come on out here with the pad, we're just going to use this pad as a striking surface right here, so I don't have to really use his eyes. And all we're going to do is I want to make sure that we're at this range right here where I can barely touch the pad. When we eye jab, I'm not karate chopping. I'm not doing a little Three Stooges move right here. All I'm doing is flicking the fingers, so very slowly here. Now, a lot of times I'll get students asking me, do I want to make contact with, let's say, the pads of the finger or this little ridge right here? You know, and although I can say, listen, that might be splitting the atom a little bit too much, all we want to do is we just want to make sure that the fingers get in the eyes. So if you do want to hit with more of the pads or the ridge, that's a good kind of focus point as far as this move goes right here. So here's the eye jab coming right at you if you guys want to go ahead and kind of see it from that perspective. As far as where to hit, we want to use either the pads of the finger or this little ridge right here. If you're asking more questions as far as exactly where we hit there, you're splitting the atom, guys. All we want to do is we just want to go ahead and fire our fingers right in the person's eyes just like that and snap on out as we do it with this eye jab. That's how we do it. So the big movement here is the arm. We want to make sure that it's loose and it's flexible. It's kind of like taking a towel, rolling it up and snapping it on out. So if Casey puts up the pad right here, as I'm flicking, notice that I'm not being mechanical, okay, all right? I'm just snapping that eye jab out. So if I can use Casey's face right here, all I'm doing is just flicking right here, right toward the eyes. Okay, go ahead and put the pad back up there again. Next thing I want you guys to do is I want to make sure you guys have the right distance as well. If possible, I would love for you to use this in the form of an interception. All that means is that we're a little bit farther off the pad just like this. Because if I can go ahead and I can touch this person, what else is also true? You're right, they can go ahead and they can touch me. So I want to make sure that I'm a full step off here. If he wants to come in and do any harm to me, what does he have to do first? He has to step on in. That's why I can intercept right there. So to practice this before we have Casey do any movements, we're going to go ahead, we're going to put our strong lead forward. Now, if you're someone who likes, let's say, their weak side forward, okay, so if you're right-handed, your left side be forward, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show this, me being right-handed with my right side forward, take a big step off just like this. I'm pushing off the rear foot, and as I'm popping on in there, I'm exploding off that back foot just like such. And that's all I am doing right there with my snap. That is the correct way to do an eye jab. So now when the person cocks back or they come into my area right there, I can go ahead and I can inflict a shot of pain. So if Casey stands right there, the next kind of thing that we do here is we get our range, we back on up a little bit. Now we let him move on in. Once he moves on in, then we go ahead and we intercept him with this move. That's the next step. To go ahead and take it to the next level, we want to start moving on a circular motion right here. So as we start moving around, he's out there, and you know what he's going to do is he's going to hide the pad, okay? When he wants to, he can flash the pad. When he flashes the pad, then I'm going to go ahead and pop the eye jab. Boom. Boom. Good. Now the next step that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and have him keep the pad up. So if Casey's right there, he's going to keep the pad up. I now have to judge his distancing. He's not going to cue me off by putting that pad right there. So if he backs on off right there, am I too far to get to him in one step? Yes. So I would need him to go ahead and step on in. Then I can go ahead and inflict that shot. We're going to start moving in a circular motion. He's going to leave the pad up, and he's simply going to go out of bounds and then start coming into me here. Out of bounds, start getting closer. That's what we want to do to start training my mind so I can start to judge how far is too far and how close is too close. Ready to go, Case? We go here, that pad's up, it keeps up, it stays up. Boom, good. Keep that pad up. And then you move in whenever you want to. Pop. As we go again, pop. Sometimes he comes in slow, sometimes he comes in fast. Kind of judges my patience, test it a little bit. And explode off that rear foot just like that. And that is how we go ahead and practice the eye jab. But the big thing I want to make sure that we understand is there's a progression to it. It's not like we just go ahead and take the pad and start moving it around. If we want to go ahead and we want to take it to the next level, the next progression, we go ahead, throw some gloves on him, have him start moving around. Now I got to make it around that jab to go ahead and pop that move. So there's always a progression. There's always a way here that we want to make sure that we improve and get better, and that's how we do things. If you guys want more information on techniques like that, go ahead and check out the description, and don't forget to like and subscribe.